To Great Crossing High School here in beautiful Georgetown, Kentucky. We have the matchup we wanted. It's not in the time slot we wanted. It is the Battle of the Birds, round 5. Great Crossing hosting Scott County. They've both won 2 in the past. One thing we haven't had is a close game. All double-digit margins to this point. Got a feeling today might come down to the wire. Both teams will have to rebound from a frustrating, to say the least, loss on Friday evening. Scott County had it all but wrapped up against South Laurel, 8-point lead with 63 seconds to play, and it slipped away, 65-63. Great Crossing led by double digits early as well, had a rough patch in the third quarter going into the start of the fourth, made a run at the end but fell short against Frederick Douglass, 60-57. So South Laurel and Frederick Douglass will play in the final after this. We're here for this one. I'm Cal Oakes along with Keith Greiser. And Keith, you saw both games with me last night. And from a coaching perspective, you've been there in the past where you've had those kind of moments where you want to flush it and play again as soon as possible, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's great that they're getting to play again today. I know that they'd probably rather not play against each other, and I know that they would definitely rather play in the championship game tonight. But to have the opportunity to come back tonight and get the taste out of your mouth from last night, as we were walking in, Cal and I came to the gym about the same time leaving that Scott County game and just called it a debacle. I mean, they had the game in hand, and then a few turnovers against the press later, and you could feel the momentum shift, and I just hated that they couldn't hold on for that one. And then Great Crossing last night made a great comeback. After they led early and then got down, then made a great comeback at the end and had some chances to get baskets and just couldn't finish off on the break and couldn't finish the comeback off. So I know that both coaches are glad to be back out here today.
You know, we tend to forget these teams are still very young. Now, they're maybe not be as young year-wise as it says on the roster because of Senate Bill 128 that has allowed some kids to repeat years, but on any given night, Great Crossing still starts 3 freshmen in terms of their eligibility, and Scott County has that big junior/senior group that really still only played about a half season last year and is still getting that feel for what they can accomplish, I think.
Yeah, I think there's adjustments statewide because of how few games got to be played last year with the experience factor. I tell you what, the Great Crossing young guns are something to behold. I was thinking last night, in my time when I was at Scott County in the early mid-2000s, Jared Carter was under our tutelage, and the improvement that he made over those 2 years from sophomore to senior was unbelievable. But the improvement from Malachi Moreno from 7th grade until now as a freshman is unbelievable. I mean, he's come into his coordination a little bit, but he's also, you can tell he's put in work with his footwork, and he's shooting shots now and making moves to the basket, dunking on people. And that was not something that was even thought of as an option back 2 years ago.
No, the perspective I can bring from having been here only about 6 years is that first year, Michael Marino's class, where Cooper Robb was a sophomore and those other kids were freshmen, and they got to the region final, and then they went on a run where they just dominated the district and region, got to 2 state finals. And that's the kind of potential, that's the high ceiling I see for this group if they can continue to put it all together. And I know you and I were both impressed by Trey Dawson last night. Vince Dawson III really carried that team on his shoulders in the fourth quarter and almost brought them back.
Yeah, and he's so smooth. I mean, he was making regular jump shots, but then he would do the one dribble pull up from about 12 feet. That's kind of a lost art these days. And really brought them back into the game, I felt like, where they had a position to win all by himself. I wish he would try to take over a little bit earlier, but that's another thing that comes with experience as he gets more comfortable. I think he'll be more willing to do that, but he sure looked good, especially in the second half last night.
I know Coach Steve Page says he sometimes has to get after him to be assertive because he will let the game come to him a little bit, and he'll try to get his other teammates involved as well, which is great. But there are some times when you have that talent level, you do have to take over. On the Scott County side, boy, a guy who took over last night's game for long stretches was J.Z. Middleton. At one point, he had an 11-0 run by himself.
Yeah, and 2 of those, I mean, his confidence level was through the roof last night. at the end of the half and then at the end of the third quarter, he did step-back shots that were from at least 30 feet. And he shot it, with confidence, drained both of them. Scott County's just a scrappy bunch. And for them to have scrapped all night and overcome a little bit of a height differentiation between them and South Laurel, hated to see them not be able to pull that one out and hold on at the end. They got in a little bit of foul trouble, and I know some of their ball handlers were out, and that hurt them against that press at the end. But, Jay-Z was quite impressive last night.
Yeah, you mentioned the foul trouble, and a common denominator in both the loss last night and the loss to Harrison County earlier this week. Micah Glenn was in foul trouble a lot of the night, and is definitely a player they got to keep, as you mentioned. Just another ball handler to have out there against that pressure, because we know Great Crossing can put the pressure on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and two of Micah's were charges, if I remember right last night. Two of his fouls were charges, and both of them he had set the guy up for great scoring opportunities. And in a game that's only 3 points, those are huge. And so, yeah, they need Mike on the floor. He's a leader. He's a confident ball handler, and they need him on the floor for sure.
Scott County has been a streaky team. We talked about Jay-Z Middleton. Micah can pop that three-pointer for sure. Nick Mosby, he's a guy that I've seen take over a game too, and he's a guy that has to get hot too. If Scott County's going to hang in there with Great Crossing today.
Yeah, I think that they rely on him to just be. If he's open, they count on him to knock it down. In the first half, he struggled just a little bit. In the second half, he kind of caught fire last night. When he steps into the shot with rhythm, it's as pure of a jump shot as I've seen. When he's on balance and jumps up, and he's got his momentum going forward. And, he's one of those kids that when my little boys go to camp over at Scott County, he's one of the guys who takes an interest in them and calls them by name and pats them on the head. And you just want to see a kid like that super succeed.
On the other side, a player I don't think you want to sleep on today. He's been big in this series throughout his career, is Ty Skierman, and he's capable of going off. And once he hits a three-pointer, I've seen him hit 7 in a game. He can hit several in a row and really carry his team. Yeah,
Ty is his dad is a friend of mine. We went to Georgetown together at the same time, and tough player Steve was, and I know that Ty is the same way. Wants his team to win, and can't wait to get out there and hard-nosed and going to make it happen when he does.
Your starters today for Scott County, Jay-Z Middleton. We mentioned his 21 points last night. Micah Glenn. He's got to stay on the court for him, but if he does, he's a guy that can get hot from outside. Nick Mosby, I saw him have an 18-point quarter in the preseason, and we mentioned how he can get the things ignited for the Cardinals. Isaiah Haynes, another one who's been in some foul trouble, and he's important for them to keep on the court. And Jeremy Hamilton, double-double last night, just brings some physicality to this team that they sorely need. They don't have a lot of size, do the Cardinals?
Yeah, and like I said, they're scrappy. And I love Isaiah Haynes because he's only 6'2" at the most, and but he'll dunk on you at any time, and really likes to dunk on you.
He had a play last night where he tried to throw a tomahawk down. They fouled him. It was right after he had made a three-pointer. It just showed the versatility in his game. For Great Crossing, we mentioned the 3 freshman starters. Vince Dawson III, he wears number 1. Janias Burrell, number 5, and Malachi Marino, at least 6'10" in the middle, number 24, true freshman. Then you have Jeremiah Godfrey, so they will go with the big lineup, 6'10" and 6'6". Godfrey as a sophomore, and Carson Walls, he's another of those heart and soul players. We mentioned Ty Skierman, but the other key senior on this team is Carson, and he's a guy that's a double-digit scorer any given night.
Yeah, he's got a pure jump shot too, and scrappy and gets after it. Solid ball handler. Carson's a great player.
We are just about ready to go as Scott County has been introduced. Coach Tim Glenn in his 3rd season at the helm since taking over from the legendary Billy Hicks. Of course, in year 1, had that Cinderella run to the 11th Region Championship, the 4th in a row for the Cardinals. Coach Steve Page for the Warhawks in his 3rd year as well. Just got the team over the hump as far as the all-time 500 mark with the 4-0 start this year. And they are, as we said, a program that is on the rise. If you look at the roster, it's dominated by underclassmen. It is loud in this arena, Keith. Between the sound system and the fans, we've got what feels like a Toyota Classic atmosphere. It's been interesting with the two gyms, and sometimes with COVID too, the crowds have been down a little bit, but today feels like we've got ourselves an event.
Yeah, this should be a fun game. There's a good student section for both schools here on the opposite corners, and Scott County fans turned around backwards right now as they introduce the Great Crossing Bunch. It should be a lot of fun over here.
Back in the old days, they bring in the newspapers and hold them over their face, And we all know it doesn't matter if this is for first place, third place, or seventh place. Battle of the Birds is going to draw a crowd. We're going to get everybody's best effort. So.
Yeah, a lot of dignitaries in the community came out last night, and I expect they're here again. I know Coach Hicks was here last night. Dr. Blankenship, the former superintendent, I saw
Coach Happy Osborne,
yes.
Someone you know very well.
Yes. I don't know that he can go in the dignitary class now.
That implies dignified. Is that what you're saying?
There you go.
Isaiah Haynes will jump it against Malachi Marino. He won't back down, but we'll see if they concede the tap or not. Malachi with the hair and the sneakers is definitely 7 feet. He wins it to Dawson, who gets it to Walls, and the Warhawks will set up. Janias Burrell, second-year freshman point guard. Inside to Dawson, kicks it to Walls in the left corner, now back to Dawson. He'll play pass with Burrell. Godfrey and Marino in the middle looking for room. Burrell taking his time, guarded by Middleton. Inside to Marino, tough angle, no good. Gets his fingers on the rebound. Now it tips to Walls, and they'll reset. Dawson kicks it to Burrell, guarded by Jay-Z once again. Drives to the foul line, spins, kicks it out to Dawson. Dawson drives again. Now he'll back out. Warhawks taking their time in the half-court set. They've burned the first 50 seconds of this one. Burrell, floater is good. Janias puts the Warhawks on the board. Trap in the backcourt. Middleton passes his way through it, but gets intercepted by Dawson. Ahead to Godfrey. Good foul by Isaiah Haynes there. As it was going to be a layup or a dunk. Godfrey at the foul line. This has been a tough thing, Keith, for this team. They've been pretty much below 50% shooting free throws most of the season. And misses the first there.
Yeah, they were really determined in that first set. Great Crossing came out and did the high-low option twice in a row before Burrell went to the one-on-one, and then they jumped into the press real quick. It's going to be interesting to see if they press most of the night.
Godfrey missed the second free throw as well. Jeremy Hamilton got the rebound, and now Middleton has the ball for Scott County's first offensive set. Nice pass inside Mosby. Nice cut by Glenn, but misses the layup. Middleton fights for the rebound, though. Haynes in the right corner. Second chance from 15 feet is good. We are tied at 2. 6.5 minutes to play first quarter. Janias Burrell takes it right through the paint. It'll be a foul out front on Scott County. They'll call it on Jay-Z Middleton, his first, team second. 6:25 to play. Will be underplay. Walls lobs it to Marino, but into traffic. It's stolen by Hamilton, now tied up. And that will go to Scott County. So a play that GC is going to use over and over again, but Hamilton wasn't fooled there.
Well, and the pass was just a little bit low. You know, when you've got a 6'11" guy, you probably ought to throw it up there where he's the only one that can get it. And they put it down there where Hamilton could get his hands on it. He's an awful strong kid.
Glenn passes through the pressure to Middleton. Jay-Z will set it up. He'll find Micah again. Back to Middleton at the Warhawks logo at center court. Haynes to Mosby. Nice cut by Glenn again, but they're going to get the block as Walls came in late and could not draw the charge. So Glenn to the line with 6:01 remaining first quarter, tied at 2. As you said, Micah got called for the offensive foul on a couple of occasions last night, including his 5th with about 3 minutes to go. And that's kind of when the worm turned as he misses the first free throw. SC kind of took the air out of it, too, a little early, I thought, and it scared me at the time, and my fears were correct. Misses both free throws, so both teams 0 for 2 from the line. Walls rebounds it. Dribbles to the baseline, underneath the basket, blocked by Mosby. Mosby corrals the rebound as well. Up ahead to Glenn. Glenn doesn't have numbers. He'll drop it for Haynes for a three-point attempt. No good, back rim. Walls rebound. And now it's Janias Burrell, 2-2, just about 2.5 minutes in. Marino guarded by Hamilton. He will kick it out to Burrell. Burrell is going to take his time. Slow pace early, especially on the Great Crossing side of things. Bounce pass inside to Dawson. Hook is no good. Rebound by Glenn. Glenn will push the tempo through 4 Warhawks. Now he will kick it back to Hamilton. Haynes hasn't been shy about taking the three yet, but he'll dish to Glenn, and now Jay-Z up top. 3 minutes in, 2-2. Middleton to Haynes from the left wing is good. He was on the line. It's a two-pointer. 4-2. Cardinals have their first lead.
Really nice pick and pop right there by Haynes. He just found the open spot, and they both kind of went with Jay-Z and fed it right back to him for the jumper.
Definitely his forte, as Haynes has all 4 points for the Cardinals. Ticking down to the 4:30 mark. Burrell loses the handle. Middleton takes it. He's got a lane to the basket. Up and under, no good. Rebound there from Mosby and an and one. And Mosby will go to the line to try to get this lead to 5 for the Cardinals. Foul is on Burrell.
You know, Mosby with a couple of hustle plays already, Cal. He got that big block down on this end, and then they get offensive rebound on a missed layup off the fast break. A lot of times that's just a hustle play, and paid off for the Scott County Cardinals right now.
Mosby completes the three-point play. 7-2. Burrell, guarded by Middleton, now gets it over to Dawson. Dawson drives toward the left corner, and there's going to be an illegal screen. I'm going to call that on Malachi. 4:09 to play, first quarter. Cards up 5 with the ball. Slow start for the Warhawks.
Yeah, they went to that high-low early, but then they've just been doing a 3-out, 2-in kind of a motion with some ball screens occasionally, but haven't gotten much out of it just yet.
Middleton travels. So a lot of turnovers, a lot of misses in close at both ends. And Great Crossing held to 2 points for the first 4 minutes of this one. Have the ball once again. It is Walls over to Godfrey. Dawson, three-pointer from in front of the Scott County bench, and he hits 7-5. That's what Great Crossing needed. You say Dawson likes those mid-range jumpers, but he hit a 3 there. Glenn will try to answer, no good. Rebound, Godfrey. Warhawks with a chance to tie or take the lead. Marino will drop it to Dawson. Dawson will take it at Mosby. Now he'll kick it back to Burrell. And they'll go into the half-court set. Walls left side. Bounce pass too strong for Godfrey. Through the wickets. Turnover. 7-5 Scott County. 3:05 to play first quarter. Gage Richardson, freshman, another one, has checked in for Great Crossing. Played a little bit at Scott County on the varsity last year as an 8th grader. He had a 21-point game earlier this season on a broadcast. There's Haynes with a little short turnaround. It's good. Haynes has 6 points. Gives his team a 9-5 advantage. Burrell directing traffic. Godfrey ball knocked briefly away by Haynes. Godfrey recovered, gets it to Dawson, that same spot. But he's guarded more closely this time by Mosby, and he'll pass it up. Burrell will not pass up the 3, and it's good. Long range for Janias to get it to within 9-8. GC heating up from outside. Hamilton dribbles behind his back to get through the pressure. Now into the corner for a Mosby 3 that's good. Haynes and Mosby have scored all the points, all the dozen for Scott County. They lead by 4. Bounce pass inside to Marino, posting up Hamilton. Now he'll kick it to Dawson. Was open, but he shot it long, and Middleton with the rebound. Middleton up ahead to Glenn. Mosby in the corner, back to Glenn, and now up top to JZ. Hamilton, they'll concede that shot. He won't take it. Middleton guarded by Burrell. Fast-moving first quarter, down to 1:35 to play, 12-8 Scott County. Mosby thought about it, thought better of it, bounced it inside to Hamilton instead. Hamilton with a head fake, blocked by Marino. Rebound by Glenn. Now Haynes has it, left baseline. Rainbow no good. Fighting for the rebound is Glenn, and he'll get the putback on the short jumper. 14-8 Scott County. Quick pass down to Marino. He's double teamed. We'll get it back up top to Burrell. Thought he might have traveled. They didn't call it. Over to Dawson. Dawson drives to the paint. Floater blocked. Mosby. Rebound Glenn. Under a minute. Game has been played to Scott County's liking in terms of the pace so far. And they've also gotten after it on the offensive glass. Here's Glenn. Spins around Richardson. Can't get it to fall. Marino the rebound. 30 seconds to play in the opening period. Great Crossing trails by 6 with the ball. And Burrell looks like he'll be content to wait for the final shot. Screen by Marino. Burrell still has it. Over to Dawson. Back to Burrell. Richardson inside to Godfrey. Godfrey got it stripped away and lost it out of bounds to Scott County. Hamilton was there along with Glenn and Mosby. And
yeah, Micah did a nice job of, he was outsized on that one. He took a step backwards, so the offensive guy couldn't feel where he was, and then Micah got a hand on the ball, knocked it off of his foot.
6 seconds to play, 4-3. Cross-court pass to Haynes for the 3, no good. And that'll be it for the first quarter. Isaiah Haynes with 6 points, Nick Mosby with 6 points, and Scott County is up by 6 points, 14-8. What'd you see from that first quarter, Keith?
Well, I think that the strength of Jeremy Hamilton really took Malachi away from the basket, and I think that was a big factor in that first quarter. Not just on rebounding, but when Malachi caught the ball in the post, he was 12 feet away from the basket, and so wasn't able to really be effective on the offensive end. And I think Scott County came up with just about every loose ball in that little first quarter right there, and that's going to be something that I'm sure Coach Page is going to want to address with his team. But Coach Glenn's got to be happy that they came up. They were the scrappier team and came up with every loose ball. And offensive rebounds. I don't know what this says on the stat sheet, but I would guess that Scott County's up by a few offensive putbacks.
Yeah, four of their 9 rebounds are on the offensive glass. They have a 9-6 advantage. And Scott County hasn't out-rebounded anybody this year that I can remember, certainly not to any significant amount. So that's impressive. Great Crossing's only taken 8 shots so far, 3 for 8. Scott County 6 for 14. That's a product of those rebounds. Turnovers just about even, 3 for GC, 2 for SC. That's one thing Scott County's done well in the games that it's won, has made almost no turnovers. They only had 1 in the first half against Lafayette and 0 in the first half of their other victory against East Jess. When they're strong with the basketball, good things happen. Great Crossing with the ball to start the second period. Gage Richardson gets it to Dawson. Dawson up top. Ty Skierman in the game for the first time. Now he'll drop it to Richardson. Richardson drive and took the Euro step and got away with it and laid it in. That's a big basket for the freshman to get his feet wet. 14-10. They're going to get a timeout as Tim Glenn wants to talk it over and gets a 30 with 7:27 remaining in the first half.
Yes. Great Crossing jumped back in the press off the made basket and denied a little bit that time instead of letting them get it in bounds, and they couldn't get it in. So it's Great Crossing pressed a couple of times in the first quarter. It led to a Nick Mosby 3 in the corner once where they didn't recover back very well. But that time they forced Scott County to take the timeout.
You think Great Crossing was paying attention a little bit last night to Scott County's difficulty with the pressure a little bit?
I would say so, and I think that Steve probably knows that he may have a little bit more depth than that he plays on a normal basis than Coach Glenn does, from what I've seen, and that may come into a factor in the second half.
Speaking of Scott County's depth, Lamarion McGrath has checked into the game, and you're right. He's played a little bit. Bryson Tackett has played a little bit. Not a lot of subbing, though, for the Cardinals most of the time. Hamilton cross-court pass to Middleton, who finds McGrath for an open three from the corner. Air ball, but Hamilton right there on the backside to lay it up and in, 16-10.
Another offensive rebound.
That's number 5.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah, that is not something that has been a strength for Scott County, and you've got to believe it's a point of emphasis for Coach Glenn, so he's got to be happy. There's a foul in the half court on Hamilton. That's his first. That's 3 on the team. Both teams have 3. No danger of the bonus yet. And now the officials talking to Jeremy Hamilton and Malachi Marino about the contact on the inbounds play. Hamilton leaning on him for all he's worth. They will get it into Richardson. Taekwon Stakelin in the game for GC. He did not play last night. There's a drive and a floater by Dawson. Lays it up and in. He can get it done in an abundance of ways, can Trey Dawson.
He's got a lot of weapons in his arsenal. He's already shown the 3 and the mid-range and the drive all the way to the basket.
J.Z. Middleton throws that ball away as he and Mosby had a little miscommunication. 6:45 to play, second quarter. GC down 4, trying to close the gap a little bit further. Stakelin in the corner to Skierman. Skierman dribbling it to the foul line, now kicking it to Dawson. Back to Skierman in the corner. Skierman, Dawson with a little give and go. Had it knocked out of his hands and just turns around and flips it into the basket. Dawson with 7. My goodness. As children of the 80s, we like that mid-range stuff.
Well, and you also know that on that play, they tipped it about 4 times. So Coach Patino's old tracking how many ball tips you got on defense would have been skewed on that play.
Hamilton, just flat-footed jumper from about 17, no good. Rebound, Skierman. Andrew Wilhite has checked into the game for Scott County. Great Crossing with a chance to tie or go ahead. Richardson has it in the corner. He'll get it to Stakelin, who is running the point right now. Cross court to Skierman. Drive left baseline. Bounce pass to Marino. Has it knocked out of his hands. It will stay with the Warhawks.
That was really a nice drive by Skierman. Drew the defender over to him, dished it off to Malachi. There'll be a day when that's guaranteed 2 points.
Absolutely. Double-double last night for Malachi, but he had a tough battle with Tyson Barrett of Douglas. I'd like to see him get a bucket or 2 here to get his confidence. There's a foul away from the ball on. It'll be Hamilton. That'll be his second. And that's costly for Scott County as McGrath will go to the scorer's table and check in for Jeremy Hamilton. The 3-sport athlete, of course. Jeremy has football offers from Eastern Kentucky and Cincinnati. I know he's paid a visit or 2 to Louisville as well. Skierman, drive and drop to Dawson. Now the kick to Richardson for an open 3, and Gage knocks it down for the lead. He has 5 this quarter. Great Crossing in front, 17-16. Mosby trapped, tipped by Richardson, and Marino walks with it.
Gage's big brother Quinn played for us back when we were winning the state championship in 2007. Quite a player, ended up playing college basketball. It runs in the family.
Yes, it does. Blocked by Marino, rebound to Skierman. Kick to Stakelin, baseline drive, gets it knocked out of his hands, or it slipped out of his hands, one or the other. And back come the Cardinals. Mosby drops it to Haynes. Missed. Marino with the board. Stakelin will slow it down just a bit. Inside to Marino, and McGrath all over him with some handsy defense, and they'll call it. Clock stops at 4:39.
I'll tell you what, that Malachi block down at the other end, the one you're going to put on the highlight reel, that looked like something out of the SEC.
And he has that kind of potential for his game. Of course, he already has an offer from his brother's school, EKU. Received that last year as an 8th grader. Stakelin inbounds to Richardson. They've got to stick like glue to him. Once Richardson hits one, he tends to hit them all, but he missed a little floater there from the baseline, flipped it and airballed it. 4:30 to play in the half, 17-16, great crossing. Scott County trying to reclaim the lead. Glenn gets it to McGrath, guarded by Godfrey on the outside. Mosby now to Haynes, tries to shake Stakelin, now picks up his dribble. Stolen away by Godfrey. Godfrey's got to run to the basket. It gets blocked. The officials letting them play for the most part underneath. And Scott County comes away with it. Haynes rebound, got it out to Middleton. Mosby, tough angle from the baseline, no good. Richardson rebound.
They're letting them play on both ends. Very physical as they attack the basket on both sides.
They've called some of the ticky-tack stuff, but once the ball's in the air, it's been go time. We'll pick and roll for Dawson. He gets fouled by McGrath. That's going to be 2 on Lamarion. So they're running out of options to guard great crossing in the paint. Dawson will go to the line to try to pad this lead with 3:35 remaining in the half. Trey with 7 points. Dawson, Richardson, and Burrell have done all the scoring for GC. He misses the first. Christian Martin checks in. So we've seen great crossing go 9 or 10 deep already. It's important when you're playing back-to-back-to-back for sure. The struggles from the free throw line continue for great crossing. Dawson misses the second. Rebound, Noah Gallagher, who has checked in. So Coach Glenn knows he's got to counter by going a little deeper to his bench and hasn't really been left with a choice. Hamilton and McGrath both with 2 fouls.
Cardinals have been stuck on 16 for a little while, Cal.
Yeah.
Had a rough go at the offense.
Glenn will try to unstick them from 3 right in front of the great crossing bench. There it goes. Glenn with 5, puts SC back on top. Drive, Burrell off the window and in, tied up. 19 apiece. Glenn to Haynes, deep 3, no. Burrell tips the rebound to himself on the run, drops it off for Skierman, and he'll get fouled. Foul is on Isaiah Haynes with 2:46 to play in the half. That's the 7th on the Cardinals. So from here on out, great crossing will be shooting free throws. Second foul on Haynes. So 2 on Hamilton, 2 on McGrath, 2 on Haynes. Skierman makes the first to break the tie.
Cal, that was one thing from last night in the Scott County game. The South Laurel team got in the bonus in the middle of the 3rd quarter, and they shot the bonus the rest of the way. It really affected the game.
Ty in and out with the second. Haynes rebound. Great crossing 20, Scott County 19. 2:40 to play in the half. J.Z. Middleton guarded by Janias Burrell. Middleton will drop it to Glenn in the corner. Glenn travels. Back and forth we go. Several lead changes here in this 2nd quarter. Now great crossing with the ball and the lead. 2:30 to play. Burrell had a pick from Godfrey, who gets the offensive rebound. Nope, Martin does. As Godfrey let him have it, and Martin drained the short jumper. So it's a 3-point lead for GC. Good run by the Warhawks here after they got down a little bit early. We'll see if Scott County can counter. It's a half-court game right now as Middleton has it, drops it off to Glenn. Glenn guarded by Dawson outside. Dawson got a hand in there, but it went off of Great Crossing. Scott County ball, 1:46 remaining.
Burrell has really changed the game, I think, Hal. His defense has stepped way up, and then he got that little finished off floater on the right side of the lane. There he is tipping another ball. I mean, he's just everywhere right now.
He's getting the deflections. Glenn got it to Gallagher, who gets it to Middleton. And that'll give Scott County a chance to reset. McGrath in the game with 2 fouls. Gallagher back to McGrath. McGrath drives around Godfrey. The floater lays it off the rim and in. First 2 points for Lamarion. Cuts it to 1, 22-21. Minute 15 to play. Bounce pass from Martin inside to Dawson. Now kicks to Skierman for an open 3. Some hands were there late. Haynes couldn't get there, and Ty knocked it down. 4-point lead. Biggest of the game for Great Crossing.
That's great vision by Dawson in the post to hit that opposite wing, know that the double team was coming and find the open man.
Glenn spins around Dawson, left elbow, jumper no good, rebound Martin. 42 seconds, and Great Crossing will slow it down just a bit. Burrell, he's done a good job controlling the tempo at both ends. Martin, bounce pass inside to Dawson. Dawson, right-handed hook from the baseline is good. Dawson with a game-high 9 to this point. Lead is half a dozen for the Warhawks. They are 4-1 on the season, trying to bounce back from their first loss last night. The bench getting into it. 7 seconds, 6 seconds. Haynes with a deep 3 from up top is good. The Cardinals have an answer as the half concludes. Dawson throws it the length of the court, but to no avail. And we've got a good one, folks. This is all we wanted. And we've got it. Great Crossing 27, Scott County 24. Heated up a little bit at the end of the half, didn't it?
Well, I think both teams were a little bit nervous and maybe a little bit shook from the night before as we first came out to start the game. And then in the second quarter, both teams kind of settled in. And some really good basketball plays made in that second quarter by both teams. Thank you.
You got the box score. We'll check out the numbers.
Yeah,
anything stand out to you?
Rebounding still 15-13 in favor of Scott County. That's the shooting percentage, Great Crossing shooting 55% from the floor and Scott County only shooting 40%. I would say that's the biggest thing that stands out to me right at a first glance. That second quarter was 19-10 in favor of the Warhawks. So where Scott County came out of the gate getting all the loose balls, I think that turned around in the second half where Great Crossing was really the more aggressive team in that second quarter.
Neither team has led by more than 6. Great Crossing got out to that advantage shortly before the half, but Haynes hit a big shot to get it back after Skierman had hit one for GC. Let's run down the scoring. For Scott County, Isaiah Haynes with the 9 to lead the Cardinals. Nick Mosby with 6, Micah Glenn with 5, Lamarion McGrath with 2, and Jeremy Hamilton with 2, and the 2 fouls. For a total of 24. Scott County 10 for 25 from the field, 40%. They're 3 for 9 from 3, 1 for 3 from the foul line, 5 assists on 10 made baskets, and the 7 turnovers. For Great Crossing, Vince Dawson with 9, Janias Burrell with 7, Gage Richardson with 5, Ty Skierman with the 4 points, all coming late there in the half, and Christian Martin with 2 with a total of 27. Great Crossing 11 for 24 overall from the field, 55%. They are 4 for 6 from 3. 1 for 6, there it is from the line again. That's a bugaboo. Has been all season, and it's keeping them from extending this lead at this point. The rebounds you mentioned, 15-13. Scott County, 5 turnovers for Great Crossing. Total of 5 blocks. As we said, they're letting them play underneath the basket. 2 for Malachi Marino. Scott County actually has 3. Nick Mosby with a pair, and Isaiah Haynes with another. Longest run, Great Crossing 10-2 to open up that lead late in the half. Scott County had a 7-0 run not long before that.
Cal, a couple of things I think we probably need to keep an eye on in the second half. We got Jeremy Hamilton with 2 fouls. It'd be interesting to see if he can make it through this third quarter without getting in farther foul trouble. I think that the press, I think Steve Page has toyed with the press a little bit in the first half and had some success with that. I'm interested to see how much he throws the press on in the second half. And they've done some token pressing, and then they've done some really full court pressing where they're in full deny. And I expect to see some full deny a little bit more in this second half from the Warhawks.
Yeah, foul trouble has been more of an issue certainly for Scott County than Great Crossing. Great Crossing only with the 3 fouls called, so that's good news for Coach Steve Page. And as you mentioned, his depth is pretty strong to begin with.
Yeah, got contributions from a lot of kids on the not only in the scoring column, but kids making defensive stops. It was nice to see Skierman come in and knock down a 3. You had Christian Martin getting an offensive rebound and sticking it back in. And then you had Scott County answering. I thought the 3-pointer by Haynes to end the half was a big, big bucket, because going down 3 points, going into the halftime down 3 points rather than 6 or more if he misses that shot, big of him to hit that 3-point jumper. I think Scott County's got to get a couple more kids involved in their offense. They're really relying on Haynes right now. Mosby has hit a couple, but they need some more production from their other kids.
Yeah, what stands out to me is 21 points last night. J.Z. Middleton, none, and he has only shot once. He does have the 3 assists.
I think Coach Page wanted to take him, but Burrell has been up in him pretty good, and Jay-Z's a distributor. He's not necessarily a scorer every game. They want him to be a point guard where he's setting other people up. But last night he was hot, feeling confident, and they do need him to knock down the open jumpers for sure.
Burrell and Dawson kind of share that role of taking on the other team's hottest offensive player for Great Crossing, and you're right. Janias Burrell has been up in his grill and a lot of deflections. We know Coach Mattingly loves charting those deflections, and Great Crossing has taken on that personality since his arrival on the bench this year.
You got to love Dudley Mattingly. He's been around in
40-plus years, I believe, or thereabouts.
So many influential lives, the lives that he's influenced over the years, and taught people how to play. I mean, the freshman coach for so long, and he was the one that, he wasn't the one that weeded people out. He was the one that taught them how to do it, so that when they got on to be sophomores, Coach Glenn and Coach Hicks could work on the technicalities because they already knew how to hustle. Because if they didn't, Coach Mattingly would let them know. So it's great to see him on the bench still. I love that dude.
It's a great point, because in so many programs, a freshman coach sometimes just babysits in a lot of ways, or as you're right, weeds out some kids and is told to develop others. Dudley develops everybody.
Yes.
And that raises the level of a program.
And they would play all year long. And so if you played another sport, that was great. If you didn't, there were things for you to do within their program, and you could get better, every week if you would show up and do the things that he asked you to do. And so good stuff. I'm glad to see him on the bench still.
This Toyota Classic, what are your thoughts on it this year? It's we had a hint of one 2 years ago with both schools involved in hosting, and then of course we lost the one last December, but still snuck one in, so we didn't miss a full calendar year. What's it been like from your perspective?
Yeah, I love the Toyota Classic. It's always great to see great teams come in and compete, and everybody in Scott County is proud of this tournament. I think there are things they're going to learn from this year. DT Wells is a good friend of mine, and he's partially in charge of what happens in Sonny Denniston. And these guys pay attention to how things went. I do think that next year, as we've talked about off the air, Cal, that they probably need to make it where people can get to all of the games that they want to get to, where it being, used to be it was in 2 gyms and they were within walking distance of each other. And now you got to drive across town a little bit or down the bypass at least. And so to time the games up where people can see Scott County play their full game and then make it to the tip-off for Great Crossing or vice versa. Last night, you and I drove from one to the next, and we missed the first quarter of one. And it probably deterred some people from coming at all. And so you want people in the community to be able to see both teams to play every time that they're tipping it off. And so I do think they'll make a few adjustments from that. But what a great 2 great venues. This gym, Great Crossing, is unbelievable. Scott County High School gym is still one of the premier gyms in the state, even though it's a little bit older.
And they're about to get a beautiful new one about 3 years down the road, even a little bit closer to this one. So It'll be a real short jaunt between the two, right around 2024 or thereabouts.
But what Sonny Denniston has done to grow this into one of the premier events in the state is nothing short of amazing. And there he is. He just walked up the staircase.
As if on cue.
But it's an outstanding event. And if you're listening, you haven't been before, I would certainly encourage you to come out. They have the great auction. They have an incredible hospitality room. But the main reason that we're all here is to see the kids play this basketball and some high-level competition.
Yeah, and it'll only get bigger and better. And we expect maybe the girls' tournament will continue to grow. And I would encourage you, if you're a local fan, look at the rosters of these 2 teams. And I'm going to be willing to bet that next year we got a good chance of seeing these 2 teams in the final. I don't know who they're going to invite, but this whole Great Crossing roster, a big portion of it will be back, and a big chunk of the starting lineup's got 3 or 4 years left. And Scott County is going to have a good core moving up on through some guys that are only juniors now that are going to have that extra year to play with, and just going to continue to get stronger as well. So we're just about set for the second half of this one. Interested to see how it pans out. As we said, we've had 4 games in this series over the years, and I think the closest margin of victory was 12 points. Right now, knock on wood, it's a 3-point game, and I think we're going to see this one probably play down to the wire, as a lot of games in this tournament have. Hey, speaking of crazy things in this tournament, what about that kid from Holy Cross Covington, Jacob Meyer? He averaged 45.7 points in the 3 games, just obliterated the tournament scoring record.
He must be something. I didn't get to see their games, but to put up that kind of numbers, where you're averaging 40 points a game or 44, whatever it was, that's impressive, especially in this tournament.
I've heard he is a commit to Western Kentucky, only a junior, so it'll be interesting to see if some others come calling and maybe tempt him as the next couple of years play out. But looks like the same starting 5 will take the court for the second half for Scott County and for Great Crossing as well. They'll go with the twin big lineup of Marino and Godfrey, along with Dawson, Burrell, and Walls. For Scott County, Middleton, Mosby, Haynes, Hamilton, and Glenn. And we are underway. Long pass, Middleton over the top to Mosby, gets it inside to Hamilton, broken up. Here comes Burrell once again. He's been doing it all day long and gets the easy deuce. 5-point lead for GC. Back up quickly is Glenn. Guarded by Burrell. Now it's Dawson on Mosby. Misses the jumper. Walls with the rebound. Burrell has it. Up ahead to Walls. Walls will take it to the hoop. Off balance, but right there is Marino for the backside putback. His first 2 points of the game. Great Crossing has its largest lead of 7.
And here's the press again. At the first pass in from half court to start the half, they double-team Jay-Z Middleton down the floor, and now they're off a made basket back into the full court press.
Haynes head fake. Up and under is good. He's the first one into double digits for Scott County with 11. 31-26 Great Crossing. Just over a minute played here in the second half. Pass broken up a little bit by Haynes. Godfrey trapped in the corner now. Haynes will knock it out of his hands again. He'll finally get it to Dawson. Dawson, guarded by Mosby, gets rid of it. Walls into Godfrey, and they're going to call the contact on Haynes. And now they're going to call a tee. And now there's still some jarring going on as Haynes got both the personal and the technical. You've got to be careful.
There was a lot of contact well before the referee blew the whistle on that one. You got to worry when you don't call the first one that they intensify, and that's exactly what happened there. So I hate to see that.
And you're always going to catch the retaliation. And Haynes still pleading his case to Coach Wilhite. And Chris says, we got it. Coach Glenn now has picked up the debate.
And that's his fourth foul. You know,
he gets a double whammy there. So. And that is costly for SC. He's shooting the technical as Walls. He'll make the first. And rolls in the second as well. His first 2 points of the day. McGrath will have to check in for Haynes. And great crossing ball, chance to really get a little bit of a margin going here. Dawson, the floater is good. And it's the 9-point advantage. Up ahead to McGrath, right baseline. Nice bounce pass to Hamilton, lost the handle for a moment. They'll kick it to Mosby for a three. Can't get it to roll in. Rebound bounces around. Middleton recovered it, but stepped on the line in front of his own bench. So it's 35-26 GC with the ball, 6:03 to play third quarter. The drive blocked as Burrell had it swatted away by Mosby.
Interesting set there. They just cleared out the whole right side of the floor, brought everybody over here to the left, and let Burrell just go one-on-one.
Walls looking. Now he finds Dawson on the inbounds pass. Dawson will take it around Mosby and draw the contact. He'll go to the line with a chance to make this a double-digit advantage. And what did I say about wanting a close game? Warhawks say not so fast. As they are stretching it out here early in the third quarter. Dawson indeed hits the first to make it a 10-point lead. He's got 12 on the day.
He's really smooth, Cal. That was a nice spin dribble to get himself open in the lane and got some extension away from his defender and caused the foul to happen.
I don't get to say this very often. Great crossing makes both free throws, and it's 37-26. Now it's stolen by Dawson. Burrell floater, good. It is all great crossing as a pump of the fist for Steve Page, and the bench goes nuts as Scott County calls a timeout. 5:38 remaining third quarter. Great crossing on top by a baker's dozen. It's a party, it's a party, it's a party, Keith.
That's what they're playing. They play things loud up in this.
Yes, they do. The DJ here, Mr. Cobbins, I believe, he gets it going.
And they're going. There's a lot of energy in the building. I was talking to Anthony Washington, who's one of the coaches at Royal Spring Middle School last night, and he said, Keith, there's some energy in this building over here, and I agree. They pump things up. It's an exciting night. Scott County's got to do a better job of taking care of the ball. I've talked about the press kind of all night. I don't know why. I just felt like that was what Steve Page was leaning toward, and they've really intensified the press here in the second half. Caused a turnover right there and led to a Burrell layup. But Scott County's going to have to take care of the ball against this press, or it could get ugly real quick.
Yeah, Steve Page, he's a guy that will stay up all night watching film. And, hey, we were all up all night last night anyway, so I'm sure he watched that game over and over and saw some things that could be exploited. Scott County trying to get back in this, and Walls will get his hand on the inbounds pass, so nothing has changed yet.
I see in the first half, Great Crossing was playing behind those guys, so they would let them get that initial pass in and then come press. But now they're total deny, which can lead to some runouts like this.
They finally get one with Glenn, and Glenn up and under around Marino, which is hard to do.
That's a nice finish over the long Marino.
7 points for Micah, 39-28. Dawson driving at Mosby, spins around, the floater, the touch on the hook, but in and out. And Hamilton with the rebound. Middleton kicks to Mosby, guarded by Dawson. Mosby will split the defenders, but Marino partially blocked it. And now Godfrey fully blocks McGrath on the second try. It will stay with SC. Those are some tall trees in the middle for the Warhawks after you get through the pressure. Middleton gets it to Hamilton, who picks up his dribble, now gets it over to Glenn. Glenn will drop it to Middleton. Jay-Z has yet to score after having 21 against South Laurel. He will try the three here. He heard me. Jay-Z knocks it down, back to within 8, 39-31. Here come the Cards, perhaps. Burrell, guarded closely by Jay-Z, has to get rid of it. And now Steve Page will get a timeout as he doesn't like the direction of the past couple of minutes. So the chess match continues. 4:21 left, third quarter.
Cal, one of the things that I do think Malachi has improved the most on is his timing in those shot blocking opportunities. He was a little flat-footed as a seventh grader, and he's got some spring now, and his timing is so much better that that shot was taken 4 or 5 feet away from him, and he was able to rise up and get it with his fingertips on the block down here.
We will see if SC can continue the momentum out of this timeout. Godfrey will inbound it. To Burrell. Burrell to Walls, guarded by Glenn. Over to Burrell. Burrell spins around at the foul line, finds Dawson. Dawson pops from 15, no good. Marino strong rebound, knocked out of his hands by McGrath, diving after the ball. Hamilton recovers. It's 3-on-1. Mosby at the end of it, and an and one with a chance to get the Cardinals within 5. Walls called for the block.
Well, what a hustle play by Scott County there to come out with it and then push it down the floor.
Lamarion McGrath started that by diving after a loose ball.
Yes. And Mosby with quite a finish with the and one right there.
And he makes the free throw. Gage Richardson checks in.
Number 22, Skierman.
Skierman also checks in for the Warhawks.
Richardson guarded closely by Glenn, finds Burrell. Over in the corner to Richardson. Head fake, gets it back to Burrell. Playing pass with Richardson. Was bumped by Glenn. It's an 8-0 run for the Cardinals, their longest of the game, to cut it from 13-5. Can Great Crossing answer? Burrell has it. The drive, knocked out of his hands, but Godfrey's there. Can't get the reverse layup to fall. Jay-Z Middleton with the rebound. Cards have a chance to cut into it even more. Hamilton, nope, taken away by Burrell. Marino with the missed dunk, but Burrell is there. Can't get the putback. He's fouled by Middleton. And I don't know what the bench wants, if they want hanging on the rim or SC pleading its case for something.
Yeah, I think they want to tech for hanging on the rim, but his feet swung out from underneath of him.
Now they're going to get a 30-second timeout. I thought he was going to get a technical on himself. Coach Glenn still hot. The steal by Burrell, he pushed it forward to Marino, who looked like he was set up for a monster dunk. And Tim Glenn is about ready to get himself a technical foul. He called that 30 for the sole purpose of continuing his argument. He had no interest in huddling with his team.
Yeah, Coach Ryan Walker's down there talking to the kids. Coach Glenn is in an intense discussion with the official at the moment, and has been ever since Haynes got his technical. He's been talking to the officials about his displeasure. So
it's the second foul on Jay-Z Middleton. Meanwhile, back at the Hall of Justice, Burrell will have 2 free throws.
Burrell shooting 2.
Makes the first. That's a big one for Janias, as he has struggled off and on from the line this season. It also stops an 8-0 run. Gets the lead back to 6. 3:12 to play, third quarter. Burrell makes both. They've hit 6 from the line this quarter, have the Warhawks. 6 for 6. Cardinals break through the pressure, and there is, I don't know if it's a makeup call or what, but they're going to call a ticky-tack on Burrell, his second. Little grab of the jersey, maybe. Team fouls are 5-2. SC with the 5 this quarter. Glenn, the drive, the spin, the kick to McGrath. McGrath, little one-hander, no good. Marino rebound. Gets it away to Skierman and Burrell. Great crossing has weathered the storm for the moment. Burrell kicks it to Skierman. Skierman double team. Knocked away by Mosby. Hits the floor. Gets it ahead to Middleton. Jay-Z pump fake. No good. Ball tipped around. Hamilton rebound. Kicks it to Middleton for a second chance. 3 short. Rebound Marino. Richardson to get it back to double digits. Yes, sir, from the left wing. Gage Richardson has 8. And that's a big shot for the freshman.
And you make all that hustle play, and then you come up empty on the offensive end for Scott County, and then just to come back down and get a 3 in your face, that's tough.
It's a 5-point swing. Mosby takes care of it with a deep 3. He has 6 this quarter, 12 on the night, 44-37, 2 minutes to play, third quarter. It has been an intense third period. Emotions going both ways, hustle going both ways. Skierman, foul line, kick to Burrell. They've left Richardson with a little room over there. They've also left Skierman with some room in the left corner, and he buries it. Ty with 2 threes on the day, 7 points, back to a 10-point advantage. 90 seconds to play in the third period. Glenn drops it off for McGrath. McGrath drives, the floater off the glass and in. McGrath does a good job using that window. He's got 4 points on the evening, 47-39. GC will slow it down. Burrell. Hesitation, dribble, drive. Fouled by Hamilton, I think. We'll see. They're going to get a technical there, too? I don't know what happened. Yep, a common foul and a technical. And the fuse apparently short with these officials. They don't want to hear anymore. And that will be 4 on Jeremy. Burrell misses the first.
There wasn't any big demonstration that
No,
Jeremy did. He
it
must
was a
just
word
said
or something.
Yeah.
Burrell at the line, shooting 2.
Burrell shooting both the 1-and-1 and the technical. He's made 2 out of 3. And another one. So it's a 50-39 lead.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the intensity continues right here. That's 11-point ball game and a lot of energy in the air. And physicality. Jay-Z did a little bump, but they're
going to call the offensive
foul. Yeah, the referees probably need to make sure they have control of this.
They're tightening it down quite a bit. $11-point deficit for the Cardinals, who have the ball. Jay-Z Middleton with it, guarded by Burrell. Finds Mosby, guarded by Skierman. To Micah Glenn, fronted by Richardson. And finds Hamilton, who's playing with 4 fouls. Not much choice for Tim Glenn at this point. He's left open for a 3 that he'll take. Leave it short. Rebound, Ty Skierman. Great Crossing will be free to take the last shot if it wishes to. Burrell has it under 20 seconds. Close defense by Jay-Z Middleton. We find Richardson in the corner, spins away, gets it into Godfrey. And there's a foul on McGrath. That'll be his 3rd with 8.1 seconds left. Nope, it's his 4th. So we have Haynes, Hamilton, and McGrath with 4 for Scott County. And their front court depth is pretty limited at this point. Stakeland will check in for Burrell, give him a little extra blow at the end of the quarter here, as only 8 seconds remain. Noah Gallagher's going to check in for Hamilton now.
Godfrey at the line, shooting the longest.
Godfrey knocks down the first. They'll have another. Misses the second. Rebound, Mosby. Glenn doesn't get it off in time, and it's a 12-point lead for Great Crossing going into the final 8 minutes.
He called a foul. He called a foul on that.
Okay, well, was it on the floor, though? Or
yeah, I think
they're going to talk about it.
He pointed to the floor, so I'm assuming it was on the drive. They're putting a little time back on the clock.
Well, let's see. This has been an interesting 3rd quarter on multiple levels. Now we're all staring at the clock, waiting to see what might happen here. A fraction of a second at the very least will be put back on. Lamarion McGrath waiting to inbound the ball. 1 second. That seems random.
I would say that based on what I saw at the scorers table, they struggled to put the tenths on all by themselves, and so they just went with
said, what the heck.
Yeah.
It's deflected. Middleton from beyond half court!
Look at there.
And we shall see. Are they going to count it? Now they're going to have another discussion.
They counted it. Yeah, the far ref counted it. 3 ball. Oh, my
wow,
goodness.
Could that be a turning point?
So if they really did just put 1 second on the clock because they didn't know how to do the tenths, and then he hit that half-court shot that if it would have been 0.1 that you had suggested would not have counted. That's an interesting twist. What a third quarter, Cal. That's that was a wild ride.
It ended with a 60-foot prayer from J.Z. Middleton. After a second was put back on the clock.
We've got a 9-point game headed in here to the fourth quarter. And so it'll be interesting to see if the momentum swing of that 60-footer, nothing but the bottom of the net by J.Z. Middleton, will turn the tide and bring some momentum to the Cardinals headed into the fourth.
The next game, the championship game? No? All right.
We've got some stats here. Great Crossing still shooting 53%. Burrell now with 16 points. The best news for Great Crossing, they were 10 for 12 from the line that quarter, and that's a run, a positive run they haven't had at all from that charity stripe thus far this season. Dawson with 13 points, Gage Richardson with 8, Skierman with 7. For the Cardinals, Mosby with 12 and Haynes with 11. But the foul trouble is an issue for Scott County. Haynes, Hamilton, McGrath all with 4. Hamilton is in the game. McGrath is in the game. Haynes, as of yet, is not. Great Crossing ball to start it out. Stakelin, drive, floater is good. Taekwon Stakelin's first 2 points of the game put it back to double digits, 53-42. Micah Glenn kicked to McGrath in the corner. Middleton finds Glenn in that same corner. Glenn dishes around the baseline to Hamilton. Hook is no good. Marino rebound. Marino's 7th board of the game. Kind of below his normal pace. There's Stakelin again. Taekwon off the window. 13-point lead. That probably could be a backcourt and is. Glenn had crossed over the timeline and tried to get it to J.Z. Middleton. And it's a turnover for Scott County. Their 12th. As we said, when their turnovers are in double digits this year, they usually don't win. And it's on the other side. Things are going well. There's Stakelin, red hot.
Wow.
Heat check 3 for Taekwon Stakelin, who has all 7 of his points in the first minute of the fourth quarter.
Where has this guy been? He's saying the coach put me in the game. Taking over here.
Middleton misses. Stakelin welts with the rebound.
Look, they're clearing it out for him now.
Why not? Give me the ball. He gets it blocked away by Middleton.
Jay-Z, he wasn't going to have that.
And he will draw the foul as getting back there, but not quickly enough was Dawson.
One, it's Dawson, his first, team 2. In the game, Middleton at the line, shooting 2.
Middleton at the line. But Scott County facing its biggest deficit of the night at 16 with 6:32 to play. First one off the rim, no good. Haynes will check in with the 4 fouls. McGrath sits down. So Coach Glenn just trying to keep a balance there, keep 2 of those guys in the game at any one time. Middleton misses both free throws. Marino rebounds it and gets it to Stakelin. Stakelin, errant pass to Richardson out of bounds. Wilhite in for Haynes. Nope, for Middleton, sorry. Scott County ball. They need points in a hurry. 6:15 to play, down 16. Micah Glenn with it. Finds Mosby, guarded by Martin. Spins around Martin. Floater, rolls it off the rim, no good. Dawson rebound. GC on the run, up ahead to Richardson. Beautiful look by Trey. Engaged with the finish for double digits. He has 10. It's an 18-point Warhawk lead. Glenn, pull up, left elbow is good. 60-44, great crossing. 5:40 remaining. Stakelin dribbling around, now gets it taken away by Wilhite. Mosby dives for it on the floor, held ball. Should stay with great crossing, I believe. We'll have to mop up some sweat.
Great crossing, just got a little careless there. Fortunate to come out with the jump ball on their possession, but dribbled right in front of the defender, put it in the wrong hand right in front of the defender, and gave it up.
Timeout, great crossing with 5:32 remaining.
Coach Glenn didn't like it when Malachi hung on the rim earlier, and then when Gage Richardson just finished on that shot, Malachi was running through and kind of grabbed the rim a little bit. Coach Glenn, again, expressing his displeasure at the non-call.
Again, Malachi is 6'10 plus. He probably grabs the rim in his sleep. Great crossing. 5 minutes and 32 seconds away from a third place finish in a strong field. They certainly, at least a little bit, will lament what might have been, as they had their chances last night against Douglas. But a 5-1 start would be nothing to sneeze at. Their first two seasons, for those of you that may not have paid close attention, they were 0-3 in year one out of the gate and 0-4 last year. Things have turned around. A lot of quality wins early. They've beaten some teams that gave them trouble in the past, namely West Jessamine and South Oldham. Scott County looking in the face at 2-4. It's been ups and downs. They shot the lights out against Lafayette in the first round of this tournament. There is a nice easy layup and an and one opportunity for Haynes as Glenn dumped it inside to him.
That was a really nice set coming out of the timeout. They screened for Haynes to roll down the lane on the right side, his strong side. Really cleared it out with a screen. Got the and one.
Haynes knocks down the free throw to cut it to 13. Don't look now. 5:22 to play, 60-47. Taekwon Stakelin with the floater, no good. Rebound Hamilton. Burrell's been out for a while because Stakelin's played so well. Glenn up with it. Trapped by Marino and Stakelin. Now Dawson gets a hand. Glenn somehow gets through it all and lays it off the window and in. 5 minutes to play, 11-point game.
I think 4 Warhawks touched that ball before Micah put it in the basket.
Gage Richardson tried to dump it hastily to Marino. Martin recovered and gets fouled by Jeremy Hamilton. If it's on Hamilton, that'll be his 5th. Who are they going to get it on? Nope. Going to get it on Wilhite, I guess. That's a break for Scott County, and the clock will stop with 4:51, which is the other good news for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it looked like Hamilton had it pretty clean up top, so I didn't see the Wilhite part at the bottom. But
I didn't either. That must be what they got. Martin misses the first free throw, so the door is ajar for Scott County. They have closed it from 16-17 down to 11. Martin hits the second free throw. 61-49. Micah Glenn with it. Burrell is back in the game. Glenn spins around him, a little up and under. 10-point game. Glenn has 6 this quarter. He is heated up, 13 on the night.
That's 2 really crafty buckets in a row from Micah Glenn.
Found a way around Janias Burrell and a path to the hoop. Now he'll guard Burrell at the other end. Burrell trying to say, anything you can do, I can do better, but misses off the rim, and Hamilton rebounds. Chance to get it back to single digits. Glenn has the hot hand, swatted by Marino. It'll stay with the Cards, 4:14 to play. Nick Mosby, the drive. No good. Marino rebounds it. Burrell under the 4-minute mark. His team nursing a 10-point lead. They wanted an offensive foul and didn't get it, did the Scott County bench. And now they're going to get it on Glenn. That's going to make them even happier. Micah's second, so he's avoided the foul plague today. Clock stops at 3:51. It is the double bonus from here on out. A lot of free throws down the stretch here for the Warhawks as they try to close it out. Burrell makes the first. He's hit 6 from the line this half, 17 points on the evening. Glenn will sit down for a moment. Burrell rolls in the second. 7 for 8 from the line since halftime. 12-point lead, great crossing. Wilhite to Middleton. Guarded by Burrell. Gets it back to Mosby. Drops it off to Middleton. Weaves it to Wilhite. Martin gets a hand in there, but Mosby recovers. Kicks it over to Haynes for a three. Long. Hamilton had his hands on it. Marino knocked it away. Stays with SC. Clock stops 3:21. Middleton under the basket. Finds Wilhite. Dumps it back to Middleton. Over to Wilhite in the corner. Middleton to Wilhite. Drive. Kick. Mosby. Three. No good. Rebound Marino. Time has dwindled down to 3 minutes. Great crossing, 63. Scott County, 51. Burrell fighting off Middleton with that shoulder again, thrown away. Wilhite with the interception. You can say that in multiple sports. Now he drives to the hoop, no good. Marino has locked down the defensive boards in this fourth quarter. Up ahead, Burrell to Dawson. Haynes reaching in. Timeout, Steve Page on the Warhawks, 2:32 to play.
Cal with 2.5 left. I think it's important that Scott County is having a tough time getting around their man to create easy shots. And I'm not sure that might be time for Michael Glenn to come back in. He's been the one kid who's been able to get past people to create something for himself or for his teammates. The other folks have been able to, they've gotten a great hustle plays and offensive rebounds, but as far as creating shots for themselves or for other folks, Micah Glenn's kind of had the monopoly on that. They might need to get him back in the game to be able to do that for this last 2.5.
Yeah, his dad sat him down for a minute, probably just to get him a little bit of burst of energy here for the finishing kick, but time's a wasting. We're down to 2:32.
And it's still striking distance. 2.5 minutes and 12 points is not out of range. If they can cut it down to 6 or 8 here in the next minute or so, they'll be in range of making a strike.
It's a 4-possession game with 2:32 to play, and if you're Scott County, you can lean on that hope. That great crossing has not always been able to put it away at the line, but to their credit in this half, they have done well to pad the lead when given that opportunity. Martin gives it to Dawson in traffic. They get it to Burrell. Richardson in the corner. Smartly passes it up. Finds Martin in the paint. Short jumper, no good. Rebound Haynes. Got a good shot, but still probably shot it sooner than they needed to. And now Scott County comes down with a chance to get in single digits. Mosby back rim, no good on the three. Ball tipped out of bounds. It will stay with the Cardinals. Here comes Micah Glenn back in the game. 2:04 remaining. Warhawks 63, Cardinals 51. Wilhite inbound, Hamilton. They swing it through all 5 sets of hands. Haynes back to Middleton. Glenn, right wing, three, short. Rebound, tip from Marino to Dawson. Dawson will push it across the timeline, 1:45 remaining, and now Burrell will slow it down. Draw the foul on Middleton and go to the line. Third foul on Jay-Z. Of course, we said Scott County well over the limit now. 10 plus. And 2 free throws coming for Janias Burrell, who has 18 points to lead all scorers in this one. Misses back rim. He'll have another. Janias Burrell hits the second. 8 for 10 from the line in the second half. 13-point advantage. Scott County will try to redeem the time as much as possible and let the ball bounce around before Jay-Z picks up the inbounds pass. Now Glenn with the spin, the floater, no good. Rebound, Richardson, foul, Mosby. And Gage will go to the line, 133. Great Crossing can smell it. Actually, they'll get Micah Glenn on the foul. It'll be his third. Coming up on the NFHS Network, the championship game, Frederick Douglass and South Laurel. Keith and I will sign off, but you are certainly, if you are a subscriber, encouraged to watch that, or if you've got time and are in the neighborhood, drop by. It's going to be some good basketball.
That should be a good game. Those teams have big, strong kids, good athletes. Should be a good one to watch in the finals.
They've got some size, some length for sure. Richardson made 1 of 2. Wild reverse layup attempt by Mosby is no good. Off of Marino's fingertips, will stay with SC, but they're down 14 with 80 seconds to play. Quick shot by Haynes, can't get it to fall, and tipped in by Mosby over Marino. Mosby with 14 points. Burrell to Martin. Haynes will reach in and foul out, 1:01 to play. Martin will have a chance to put this further out of reach. Makes the first. Bench scoring in this fourth quarter, Stakeland 7, Richardson 3. Martin now 3 as he makes both free throws. And it's a 14-point margin. Steve Page will get a timeout just to talk a few particulars. This one, it's all academic pretty much. You know, about this time, Scott County was up by 8 last night. 8's one thing, 14, I think, is another.
Right. Yeah, it is. And it's both teams played a nice game. I think both coaches have lots that they can go back to the film room and improve on. I think Scott County's still got a ways to go with their press offense to make sure that they're taking care of the ball. Way too many turnovers tonight. And I think that Great Crossing has things that they can work on as well. The efficiency of their offense. They got to the line a lot, but they're having, it's been several minutes since we called Dawson's name again. He had a dominant third quarter, but he hasn't really shown up in the fourth quarter like he was in the third. Other people have taken up the slack, but really for Dawson, I think what Steve Page probably wants is for him to be a consistent, dominant player.
It has been the bench, and it has been Janias Burrell getting to the line by and large in this second half, especially in the fourth quarter. Some big threes by Skierman and Richardson in the third quarter stretched it out. Middleton tries for a 3, no good. McGrath rebound. We are under a minute, 49 seconds. Glenn, right corner, gets it knocked away by Dawson. Great Crossing will have some well-deserved time off before they get back to district play against Western Hills next week. Scott County has to play Douglass on Tuesday night, so they've got to get some things well in a hurry. Mosby misses wildly. Rebound Burrell, who will go shoot more free throws.
I believe that's 5 on Jeremy Hamilton.
Jeremy Hamilton fouls out. Ethan Payne will check in to the appreciation of the crowd. The human victory cigar. Every team's got to have one that drives the crowd nuts when he comes in. Ethan, a heck of a soccer player, and it's good to see him out for basketball this year. Brings some extra size that they may need down the stretch.
Plus, he's got the hair.
You got to love that hair, the man bun going. Burrell makes the second free throw, 68-53. Mosby, deep three, no good. Scott County just hasn't been able to buy one in the fourth quarter. Richardson rebounded it. They want Payne to score. He falls down under the basket and gets it taken away by Noah Gallagher. Jay-Z will launch one more time. Can't bank it in. Rebound Martin, and that should do it. Third place in the 26 Toyota Classic will go to the Great Crossing Warhawks by the final score of 68-53.
Cal, it was a fun night. A lot of good basketball that we got to see tonight. Teams shaking hands, making everybody in the county proud. Whatever team you're rooting for, I know that folks are proud of their teams tonight as we get better, because it all matters in March.
Janias Burrell, 20 points. Vince Dawson, 13. Gage Richardson, 11. For Scott County, Isaiah Haynes, 14. Nick Mosby, 14. Micah Glenn, 13. I got to go do a bunch of interviews, but Keith, it was great working with you. I know we'll be doing it again before the season's over. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot. It's great to be here.
On behalf of Brett Smith, on behalf of Mike and James Scoggin, DT Wells, Sonny Dennis, and all the people that made this tournament what it is, and made our coverage what it is, we thank you for joining us. I'm merely Cal Oaks saying good night, God bless, praying for the good folks of Mayfield and Bowling Green and Western Kentucky, as we have them on our minds tonight. Until next time, we'll have some games next week for you, and we'll let you know on social media what the schedule is. Good night, everybody.
Thanks, Cal.
Thank you.